This is a tutorial to demonstrate some of the general features and introduction to the PTAGIS website. All fish that are pit tagged in the Columbia River Basin get entered into this website. And then those pit tagged fish can then be tracked through the Columbia River hydro system via this website. So remember that a pit tag gives you an individual code for each fish in which a pit tag is entered. So without even logging into this website, we can look at quite a lot of data. There's a lot of information in this site. So for example, we can look at the number of detections per year, which are the blue bars, and the cumulative number of detections since 1987 is the red line on this axis over here, 160 million detections. We can also look at which species are tagged with pit tags, and you can see that Chinook make up the largest percentage of the fish that are tagged. We can then look at the absolute number of fish that were detected by species, and we can look at things like recaptures and mortalities. That's what morts is. And these are fish that were found dead in the system, either by fishermen, killed by fishermen that died during handling, or found tags at bird colonies. We can also go up here and we can look at the complete tag history for an individual fish. So if you had a fish that you had tagged and you were interested in where that fish had been seen throughout the system, you could enter its pit tag code in here. That's what a pit tag code looks like, and you can find out that fish's unique history. So this particular fish was marked in the South Fork of the Asotin. That's where we were sampling on our field trip in 2010. And since 2010, it has then been recaptured in the South Fork of the Asotin in 2011 on 2 subsequent days. And then it was observed passing an in-stream antenna just below the junction of the North Fork and South Fork Asotin in 2012, and then it was heading downstream. It went past Lower Monumental Dam. On 2 subsequent days, it was detected at Lower Monumental, and then it was detected at the John Day Dam. That was the last time it has been seen. You can also look at detections by individual site. So, for example, if we wanted to see which fish had been tagged or had been detected at the antenna just below the North Fork, South Fork Asotin confluence, we would select that. And let's look at fish that were tagged there over the last 7 days, or that were detected there, rather. And we can see that in the last 7 days, 2 fish that were released in the North Fork of the Asotin have shown up. We don't know what they were. They were probably steelhead. An omicus that was tagged in the North Fork was detected there, steelhead, and then several Chinook. And this one's pretty interesting. There were 2 wild Chinook detected that were not from the Asotin drainage. This one was from the Tucannon River. That's where it was initially tagged and released. That's the release site. And the second one here was from the Imnaha. And you can look at information in all of these different categories. I just want to make you aware of some other resources to you. So if there's a term in PTAGIS that you don't know, you can go to this data dictionary and you can type in a search such as, let's say, river kilometer. Release river kilometer. That's something that is unique to PTAGIS, and so if you don't know what that is, you can go here and look it up and read about it. There's also online support in the form of frequently asked questions. There's pretty good documentation on the basic features of the website. You can watch video tutorials, and for this particular class, I would encourage you not to contact PTAGIS, but just to contact me. And that is it for, oh no, I wanted to show one more thing. You can also look at where the different sites are, where information is gathered. So this is let's look first at a map of the MARC recapture locations. These are MARC recapture recovery sites, such as those that we visited in the Asotin field trip. And you can see that there's a lot of them throughout Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and even California and up into Canada. Let's go ahead and zoom into our area. There's the listed. And so this should be the Asotin River. There's Asotin Creek, and each one of these locations are the 3 sampling locations in the intensively monitored watershed: Charlie Creek, North Fork of the Asotin, and South Fork Asotin. Let's find where that Imnaha fish came from. I'm going to have to back out a little bit. So that was a stray hatchery adult from the Imnaha, which I think is over here. So it's strayed quite a long ways from its natal ground. So you can go ahead and you can look at all of the different MARC recapture sites, and you can do the same thing for interrogation sites. Those would be the passive antenna locations. Not quite as many of those, and mostly centered along the major riverways. You can also look at data specific to each interrogation location. So let's say we wanted to look up, we wanted to know a little bit more about how long the antennas had been in the Asotin. So we could go look up in-stream remote detection system, and we could go find this antenna that was just below the confluence of the North Fork, South Fork, Asotin. And then we could see where that was located, at what river kilometer, and when it was installed. So lots of information available in this website, and I encourage you to spend a little time just moving around on the site and getting to know it a little bit prior to your final projects. In the next video, we will move into advanced reporting and pull out data for this lab assignment.